Today we're going to do Cradock Peak. You've heard me correctly. Cradock Peak. I've just started 5 minutes ago at about 20 to 7 and I'm starting at Witfontein. This is the controversial little section that some people are afraid of because of previous attacks or whatever on people here. So, believe it or not, to make anybody else feel better, I've brought my walking stick. Can you see my walking stick here? You know what I mean by walking stick? Walking stick in brackets. Never done it before. I thought, oh well, may as well bring it. It's a nice little one I made with my garden scissors. So I've got two of them. See, they've cut a lot of wood here. I've got quite a way to go today. I've done it before. And when I did George Peak the other day, I realized that I'll be able to do Cradock Peak as well. Nobody else with us today, it's just me. So let's go and see. Take it in stages with the video. Guess what? I took the wrong turn off just now. It's not the end of the world. I was here a couple of years ago. Haven't lost much time. Just turning back now. And now I believe we're on the right one. Certainly heading in a better looking direction here. Thing is, everything just looks so different because I haven't been on this section since the fire, so the entire forest looks different. And once again, as you'd expect, there's also a clear sign that it's not there anymore and probably will never be replaced unless I can replace it. The George Peak, Cradock Peak sign is no more. Only one you're going to find is just now, so one can easily take a wrong turn off. Just shows you how long ago I've been here in this section. This little, always like this little dam here. I would not swim in it for some other reason, but I would take a photo of it. You can easily say to people, you're going to be passing a dam on your left hand side. We've reached the part where one meets up if one comes from Glenberry instead of Witfontein or the Glenberry area. So it's worthwhile looking at my watch and seeing how much time I've saved by starting at Witfontein as opposed to starting from the Glenberry area. I think I've saved, my guess is about half an hour maybe. But the next time I'll go with Hester or somebody and we start from the other side, I'll also time myself. It's now, including the 7 minutes we lost, 10 past 7. So 10 past 7 means 31 minutes of walking since getting out of my sister's bakkie. And I must just remember that, remind me, about half an hour. And we see how much time we take to get here if we start from the other side. One of the few signs that are still on, standing. Can you read it with the sun in the back here? Cradock Peak, Cradock Pass. power across, which would be that way. One day, and I'll go and have a look and see what the tower looks like when you're standing next to it. And now, a bit of a break, but almost demoralizing, perhaps. No, I wouldn't say demoralizing. We've got to go down the hill again first, before you're up the hill. This is the part where we go to the 2 streams. And then from the 2 streams, it's all up. But we first got to probably about 20-minute walk at least from here. Down before we go up again. So we're heading for the stream. Quite pretty here. Worthwhile taking a photo or two. Always worthwhile taking one here. And we get to stream number 2. Stream number 2. A bit trickier. Onto that rock there. There and there. Right. Might only be a stream, but let's use it as a marker. It's taken us 33 plus 20 is 53. 53 minus 6 is 47 minutes from getting out of the bucky. 47 minutes to stream number 2. And now the climbing starts. It starts. Climbing starts. So remember that. I'm reminding myself here as well, more than anything else. Yeah, 54 minus 7, about 47 minutes to get to stream number 2. Sad. Sad. Lying on the ground there. Used to be on here. Whoever made it did it with pride, because it's nice and engraved, stands out nice and painted white on the inside in the engraved parts. So whoever did it, made it however long ago, did a good job, but nobody maintains it. It ain't the end of the world. Majority of people who ever walk this fortunately know exactly where they need to go. See that precious spider? I walked so straight into him now. He almost hit my face. Shouldn't take him long to make another one. I just don't know why they have to make it over the footpaths, the trails. Almost got a bit of a fright. I've got the spider. Oh, what's this? Bloody spider in my face there. I feel bad if I've got to break, if I've got to go through there and I've broken his house. Won't take him long to make another one. At least another son has been here for ages. It's nice when you get a little pole or a little marker of some kind, and you know you're progressing. Listening to my music, by the way, So, maybe I'm speaking too loud. Anyway, we are progressing. Next marker, railway line. Hooray! Hooray! We have reached the railway line. This sign never used to be there. Certainly not in the first 2 or 3 times I walked here. And the very first time I didn't know left or right when you get to the railway line. So I had to guess, and I guessed left, and I guessed wrong. It took me half an hour to find the turn-off, because for some other reason that is mind-boggling, it doesn't cross the railway line directly. You first got to turn right, go for a little while, and have a good eye for the actual turn-off on the left, because there's no real clear sign either. But anyway, we're progressing. Railway line equals 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, so there we go. That's 20 to 7. That's 1 hour and 20 minutes to get to railway line. 1 hour and 20 minutes. For me, may take less time, for others may take more time, but it's also just for me, just sitting roundabout times, because I never did that in the past, and this could be helpful maybe to anybody else who watches this as to what time you get to certain parts at least. Anyway, here's the turn off from the railway line. No clear sign, but here it is. Just a few little rocks placed there. Up we go. Sometimes it's hard to know when to record and when not, but yeah, it's definitely worth it. Protea opening up a little bit more since I saw it when we came to do George Peak. Without taking a photo, I know it's significant because I think there's only one other one in this whole trail that I saw when we did George Peak. I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. It's now 8:10 on my watch. A guy's just come, a trail runner has just come down 5 minutes ago, and he says to me, hell of a nice guy, he says to me, oh no, he's just quickly gone and done George Peak. Oh, I said to him, oh, okay, all right. Took him apparently about something like 1.5 hours. That's what he said, if I understood him correctly. 1.5 hours to start from Arbor Road. People that are in Georgia know where Arbor Road is. To get to George Peak, and he's halfway back already. Unbelievable. You can see he's fit, but I said to him, you are a source of encouragement to me. See those yellow flowers there? It's quite interesting how that seems to be their favorite height, because suddenly they disappear and we get these kind of ones. And guess what else we discover here? Hello, hello. Another 2 of them. Take a 1 or 2 with my other camera. It's beautiful. I haven't been too sure where I should record and where not. And I was trying to record at places that look maybe considerably different to the previous recorded section. But this is worthwhile recording again. We start making this turn, and even though I've recorded it before, I'm doing it again. And you get to see the whole Outeniqua pass and part of the Montague pass. Good view of town already. And rock formations as you turn around here. At a request, look at this. I'll make a recording or two, try and lay a bit of emphasis on one or two of the deceiving parts before you get to the saddle. Because just before you get to the saddle, or quite a way before the saddle, there's two sections, and in particular the last section that one doesn't actually see so much. So you tend to think, I'm close to the saddle. Meanwhile, you've got one more up before you can get to the saddle that you don't notice on your way there anyway. It's not supposed to be discouraging, it's just supposed to be, I'll show later what I'm talking about. Look at this. Up there. I may as well record a small section like this, since there's going to maybe be another example or two. Just, this doesn't actually show how this goes up here. Climbs up by about 4 meters, maybe 5 meters. Just one of those places you don't want to slip. Take a nice sturdy step. A sturdy step. Another sturdy step. And that's more like what it looks like from the top. You get an odd section or two like that where you just don't want to slip, especially if you're alone, because the chopper's going to have to fetch you if you've broken your ankle. And another example of where you don't want to slide. Goes fairly sharply up here. Step on the left hand side is what I'm doing here. It's slightly wet, whereas it's not wet there, but it has no grip there. Sharp up here. Shouldn't be too long, and we'll be at Breakfast Rock. My shade is in the way, so I'm going to have to hold it like this. Spring is in the air. Spring is in the air. Spring is in the air. Yeah, look around. Spring is in the air. Beautiful. Almost at the Breakfast Rock or whatever it is. I don't really care if it's called anything or not. And here we make our second turn, similar to the previous one, further down, considerably further down, where again you look at the Outeniqua Pass and suddenly you see part of the Swartberg. No, not quite yet. And very similar, just higher, maybe even a little bit prettier. Rocks again, and pretty soon a little spot where I might have something to eat. It's now completely off the beaten track here, and you do not want to fall down here. maybe a good 6, 7, 10, 20, 50 meters, depending on how you fall down here. But hey, it's not part of the trail. It's just pretty. This is one of my favorite parts, and it carries on for quite a while now. Even if it's fairly hard graft, like I've said in the past, you've got the George on your right hand side here, and Montague and all kinds of stuff on the other side here. And then you're heading for your first spot where you're going to have your breakfast maybe, and some water. And for some other reason, this is where you start feeling you're making progress, even if it is a little bit of grafting, and you feel you're close to your first destination, one of your first, which will be the spot to have our breakfast. And we haven't even had a smoke yet, ladies and gentlemen. So it's one thing I like about this hiking. I smoke a lot less as well. I do really, really like this sign. I really do. And the time on my watch is, can you see it? 4 minutes past 9. Quite interesting. That must mean, to have put that sign up there, must mean there are people that have been found high up and then asked what time were they roundabout at this spot, only to find out that they were here well after 2. There will be a reason why they've decided that 2 is a good time to set a standard there. Now this is where I'm going to sit now and have a boiled egg or 2 for some protein. A boiled egg or 2 for some protein, and look down into town and compare my height to that tower there. That tower is a good way of setting yourself a goal. How high are you? There's a high piece of tower that, and that gives you a good idea about how you're progressing. If I mentioned that it's good weather today, perfect weather, perfect. Don't have a thermometer on me now, but no wind, nothing. Not a cloud in the sky yet. We noticed the other day how things can change when you get up to Cradock Peak, George Peak. Once you get up to the saddle, and suddenly there were clouds starting to come in. But you have a look there. You won't see a cloud yet. Nothing. Only blue that you see over above town there is the sea. And wilderness, past wilderness there, Victoria Bay, etc., etc., and a very, very calm sea. That is where we have yet to go. That is where we are going. Up in the middle-ish there. Yeah. And there's Roger. There's that one. Yeah. So in the middle, that's where we're going. First, a bit of a descent there. This boiled egg is very nice, and we'll get going now again. Sorry guys, but I have to record this. It's got to be one of my favorite pots. I constantly see this, and clearly something Normally it's baboons, but something has been eating the roots. You can see it's fairly fresh. It's been dug out. Could it be dassies perhaps? I've been seeing it for a long time now. I know the baboons do it, but this is a pretty high terrain for baboons. And the pass over on that side. Beautiful rocks and flowers in the middle. George over there and many flowers. Would that not be a nice photo? I think so. It's worth a stop. The whole thing is that I could be scoring a lift with my sister from, depending on the time, from Witfontein, and I won't need to walk all the way back on Sampiese Hoogte, which saves me 6 kilometers of straight walking. So that is why I'm not in as much of a hurry, and yet I'm further up than I was at about this time when we did George Peak. For some other reason I've made even more gain than when we did George Peak. So anyway, let me take a photo here. This is about the only, well, not definitely, it is over and above parts of the saddle, maybe up on the way up to the saddle. This is the only stretch that is actually quite level pebble. This part that we're doing here, there, and from there, this couple of 100 meters maybe, and then the incline to the saddle, and then parts of the saddle will be fairly level again, and then the next incline to Cradock. Ons gaan het maak. We will make it. We will bloody make it. Now we definitely had a part that could make and break some people, depending on the experience. Because as you go up here, you see the saddle, and then the saddle disappears with the next hill, because the hill's in your way. And you think to yourself, well, okay, when I get to the top of that hill, I should be fairly close to the saddle then. Get to the top of it, oh my god, the saddle's considerably further still. And that is what happens time after time. You've got this hill which is going to be in the way now. Suddenly the saddle disappears, and you think to yourself, oh well, if you're on top of that hill, saddle should be a lot closer. And suddenly you find, not that much closer yet. And so it goes on. With experience, you know what's coming. If you're inexperienced and you haven't done some mountain climbing, it could be a bit of a challenging part. Yeah, these separate uphills up to the saddle just don't stop. You see one, you think, am I going to be on the top of it? I'll be close to the saddle. No. Once you get to the top, there's another one. You've got to go to it first, and you think, if I get to the top of this one, I'll be close to the saddle. But not to be when you get to the top of that one. And so it goes on up to the saddle. The saddle, the saddle, the saddle. Our next goal. But we've got Swartberge in between there. Swartberge and clear looking skies. For a moment I thought the camera had packed up. Another one of these sections where you could slide a bit if it was wet here on the rocks. I hope this does justice to how steep this is. Otherwise one steps on the left here up. Pretty steep little section this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is steep. It's only 3 meters to the right, and immediately he's zigzagging to the left again. 2 meters to the left, 1 meter to the right. And why? Because it is steep. Steep. This is when you need a bit of stamina, because the higher you go, suddenly the steeper it becomes. If it was the other way around, It may not be so demoralizing to a first comer here, or a first mountaineer, first climber, whatever. I've worked out that it's 10 o'clock now. That means I've walked 5 hours, no, 3 hours. 7 to 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock when my sister can pick me up equals 10 hours, which means 5 hours up and 5 hours down, theoretically. Which means I've only got 2 hours left to still get to Cradock. There's no doubt I'll make it, but I also know for a fact it doesn't always work out half in terms of time. It could take me 7 hours for all you know to get to Cradock, and 3 hours to get down. Going down is, you feel like you're running a marathon when you're going down. Yes, it's steep. Steep, steep, steep. The best way to motivate yourself is to say, I've done it before. I've done it before. And that it's one of the steepest parts this. And be prepared to know when you've reached the top of this steep part, there's more to come. You're still not at the saddle. You're just at the top of this section. And then, after all that steep climbing, you got to go down. You got to go down again. And then another steep up. But we did it less than a month ago, so we'll do it again. You need some stamina. Looks nice and high. And you go around. Nice view. But you go around here. And a little bit up, round, and you've got another down, another down. Don't know if you remember earlier how all of this from considerably lower all looked like a systematic up, but we've got another down. Make up time here, and then the final up there to the saddle, and then the work starts for Cradock. There used to be a sign on this pole here. This is supposed to be fountain water. Personally, I think it's just running water from the top there. Either way, that is the last water source before George or Cradock. So I've just filled up this bottle. I finished the last bit of Energate I had, certainly the last bit of Energate I had in the one bottle, and filled this up with this cold. Comes stream water, comes spring, so-called spring water, whatever water, it's water. And there's the peak. This is the last incline, not the peak, saddle, and then we'll be there. I'm going to turn left there. And then one reaches the saddle. You reach the saddle, and immediately the wind picks up when you're on the top here. It's got to be wind coming from the other side. So yeah, after a bit of climbing to show you what it takes to get up here, you do get here. course from here you don't see George Peak suddenly because you've got this hill in the way, but you certainly see Cradock Peak where we're going now. Up there, in the middle, up. Hope this video helped. I might show you about a rock, sorry about shaking camera. I might show you about a rock at close to the top there, but later. Yeah, I can certainly make up time now on top of the saddle before some climbing starts again. I was just thinking, it's now 10 to 11. I reached George Peak at 11:30 last time, so 40 minutes from now I'd be on George Peak perhaps again, but not going to George. I'm going to be quite interested to see where I am at 11:30, because it's not necessarily only the elevation. It would be interesting to see in terms of distance, because I've never really bothered taking much measurement to see how much further over and above elevation Cradock is from your T-junction at the saddle compared to George. But anyway, that is where we're going. We're making up time here now. We're making up time. And looking down on town, that side, an interior side of mountain, a bit on that side, and you might look forward to a 360 view when we get to the top. You do get this downy before the main up starts. Once you've turned left on the saddle and you're heading for Cradock, you do get this downy. Make up time. By the way, the soil is close to perfect. It's not hard, and it's not too muddy either. It's like a beautiful sponge under my feet. It's just perfect. Nice shock resistance for the shoes and for me. Oh, hier is zwaar. Look at that. Ah, no, he's dead, man. Akadissie. Yeah. Make up time for another 30 meters and then the climb starts again. Oh, the fun had a heart, cheeky bear, as again to such as me. Inside I'm not longs to see of an angel on me. Outeniqua side, Outeniqua pass side. Up. Finally looks like we're starting to make some progress since turning left for Cradock. Are you looking down on George Peak in the middle, saddle in the middle of the picture, and climbing up to here. Picture doesn't do justice to it. Right. Steep. And then up there, and that's still not the peak. Suddenly, one can see the houses. You can see Cradock Peak, which, when you see it so suddenly, popping out, and the houses suddenly look, the buildings on it suddenly look a bit larger. That makes you feel like a bit of a bonus. It feels like a bonus. Just this view, looking down, furthermore down onto George Peak now, and all of that town on that side, interior on that side. It's all a bonus to get up there and see things up there that you cannot see from here. I forgot about this Downy, but this, I tell you, this view, when you're looking here and you suddenly see so much of the other side here already, like that farmland, it's quite encouraging to make your way up the last part. You're far higher than the Outeniqua pass for starters, and it seems like we're certainly higher than Vensterberg. Farmland on that side, George on that side, interior on this side, and it just gives you that extra spring to do that part. But see the footpath there, see the trail, that's up, and we've got this. I think this is the last Downy. If there is another Downy, it certainly can't go as far down as this one. Don't you like the word Downy? Downy. Well, but hiccups. It energized a lot earlier. The oxygen levels here, maybe, I don't know. Make up time when it's level and when it's down. Make up time. Here we go. Up. Climb. I don't care, by the way, if I sit down every 20 meters to rest. Right, by the way, it's 11:30 now. 11:30, and had I headed for George Peak, I would have been on George Peak now, so that gives me a good idea. And if I go back on this video myself, I can remember now where I am at approximately this time. This last Downy part here, we look there, that's like a beacon, maybe 11:30. So let's see how much longer it takes to get to Cradock for me. Ladies and gentlemen, hard graft. George Peak looking smaller. Is it altitude sickness? I don't think so. Bit of shortness of breath could be. I forgot about this little Downy, but hey, we are close. We are close, ladies and gentlemen. Path. Dunk. The other side of those rocks is where we're going to climb up, not this side. Stunning view. One must utilize the time, even if it's hard work, and enjoy the view while one can. What is very encouraging is when you're looking over George Peak. George Peak is an accomplishment. Make no mistake of that. George Peak is an accomplishment. But this is also, it's just different. Ooh, beautiful rocks. Photo time. Other side of the mountain, including my Tierkoop trail that goes all around the mountain, past that farmhouse and meets up there with the Montague Pass there. Oh, I think it's photo time. I've got a Christmas present for you guys. I've got a Christmas present for you. Yeah, we've got a path and a rock and George Peak there, and we've got a path, Christmas present coming up, Christmas present, Swartberg. We're not on the peak yet, very close, getting close. Should be there in 5 minutes, 10 minutes time. Now you can start having a very good look at the trail that I walk about 5 times so far. I can see a lot of it from here. Down there. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit here. Actually, you're going to see more of it now. I'm going to do a 360. But this, we're going up, and the uppie, and then I think, if I remember correctly, it's a flatty. Back to George side, on that side, and interior side, this side. Now, let's sort this out for once and for all. There's been a bit of a, I wouldn't say hype, but concern over this part. And I'm going to be taking it with my other camera as well. This year, you lose your balance. Yes, maybe you're lucky and you fall backwards and you fall on the path. But as unlikely as it is that you lose any balance on this piece of path here, you've got quite a way to go down there, Mensa. No, Esther. I'm going to show you this just now on my other camera. Have a look here. You see this sign? That tells you you've got to go up, vertical, up. You might see there's another sign, and then up there. This is all, don't drop miss here. This is where you've got to go up, and it is, let's have a good look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11, 12, about 15 meters high, between a minimum of 10, 15 meters high, maybe even 20 meters high. And you just don't want to fall, because if you lose your balance and you fall, then this is when you're going to come down onto here. You're not going to have much ground here. But anyway, let's take a photo or two. You know what? Before I climb up here, I'm going to put this water of mine into my bag, so that I've got an extra hand at least. Be back with you now. Step here and here, and then put this leg onto here, and then here in the middle, and hope that stands, and then another one here. You do not want to be afraid of heights here, because that is what you're looking down on. You've got a good pair of shoes that won't slide, then no problem. But beware of small stones like that. So we've climbed up that part there. Now we've got this last part here. Notice the sign. Who knows why they haven't made some ladders for people, man. and we're up. So that is where you climbed up. From the top it doesn't look so bad. It looks like some more phosphate black. That's what everything's about. Hope that helps. Now we are very close to the building. Just a few more rocks left here. Very close. Very close. Last few beautiful rocks here. Go on top here. Easy to spring a couple of arrows. Hey, look at that little Kavan. Don't know if you can see it there. Got a big one. I'm trying to take a photo. Nice and steep there. Good thing is, no serious work to do in the next 100 meters. 100 to 150 meters, I'd say, to the buildings. Just this last little one here. Start my 360 from here already. Got the building. Just a few meters. Next there is that beacon. Looks like they've revamped this building a bit. Whereas it got all kinds of graffiti on it still. Take your selfie here and post it to Instagram. Here, Cradock Peak. We are on Cradock Peak, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I don't know where the CCTV camera is. They used to have a CCTV camera here. Anyway, let me shut up and do a 360 here for you. Starting from the interior side. I'm sure anyone can guess you're looking at the Swartberge all along there. All the way from there. Let's start like this. Outeniqua Pass and Vensterberg, etc, etc, farmland. Further up there, starting already, Swartberge, 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 Oudtshoorn, just on the other side there. A little bit too hazy perhaps to see it. If it wasn't so hazy, one might see it, but I love this weather, by the way. This haziness keeps me cool. And snow clouds, so I'd rather take this than a hot day with no haziness. I'll take this weather anytime. So anyway, that's still interior. Now we get to catchment area. There is tierkop and skurwekop. Let's go down a little bit here. And people like Esther, as you know, you kyk. There you've got that sharp down there and sharp down there. Boy, I love this. There you've got the Old George Dam, Garden Route Dam, Wilderness, Sedgefield. You just can't see it clearly because it's a bit hazy today. It's a bit hazy today. But if it wasn't hazy, oh boy, you would see far, 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 far. It's even a struggle due to this a little bit of haziness to see Mossel Bay, but anyway. There's George Peak. As a gift, such as me. Can't get the heart away. Can offer on the way. Gets the heart of an. Hello, George. Back to this sort of a saddle thing, if you want to call it that. Back to looking well past Vensterberg. If it wasn't hazy, by the way, I mean, I can see Mossel Bay. If you look very carefully, you might be able to see it. If it wasn't for this haziness, you would clearly see it, and well past it, and past it. The next one after Mossel Bay, and the next one after the one after Mossel Bay. But I'll take this weather anytime. Lekker cool today. See, it's just started recording. Here's this book, and may as well just write something down here. Always good having some water up here for people who have underestimated what it takes to get up here. Let's just get a pen and write something in this book here. Just a last little look from up here. wasn't actually planning on recording much going down, but why not just record some of the more spectacular spots right at the top here. At least, well, I almost lost an hour actually. At least 40 minutes, I'd say, since getting to the top and writing down stuff. And we made it, ladies and gentlemen. We made it, man. We made it to the top. To the top. There. Quite a lot of rocks here, Cole, at the top, but then followed by some paths and then back onto some fairly gradual upish and downish rocks. Got another little gradual up, funny enough. Let's not forget, on the way down, all the way on the way down, we're also going to have our gradual, our few uppies again to do, just like we had our downies to do when we came up. Now, the fun part is coming, where you climb down cautiously. And anybody else, Esther and anybody else, one doesn't actually have to follow the, no, this is a straightforward part. This is not the part with the arrows. Go down, yeah. The fun part with the arrows, waar die arrows is en 'n mens versigtig wil afklim, kom nou. Akkedisies, wat skrik vir niks hier. Hier wil jy nie gly nie, want as hierdie verdomde los klippies, los klippe op die rotse. Hou jy vast met al twee hande hier, een daar en een daar, en hier is die lekker trappie en nog 'n trappie. Moenie gly met los klippies nie, moenie gly met los klippies nou, and don't slide with those small rocks. Another step there, holding on with the right hand because I've got the GoPro in the left hand here, and then we may as well follow our own little route here and go like this, hope it doesn't break. We're gonna go down there now, so you're gonna be seeing a shaky looking video. Yes, I hope that fucking rock is sturdy. I'm concentrating here, people. That's why you're not getting it all here. Down there, down there. And finally down here. That is where we went up earlier. So that's been sorted, and that is the part that maybe some other people have also spoken about before. The only thing about it is that you don't want to fall down there. But if you try to imagine that there is no height there, it wouldn't be such a big deal, would it? Anyway, down, down, down we go. 1 o'clock. We've come quite a long way down since the last recording. And this could be the very last view of that side there. That part of the interior side. And we've seen it before from Vensterberg. And it's not like one has never seen it before. I'm talking about that piece of farmland there, on that side there. Always does look pretty, and I see it's green, nice and green. So they must also, just because they're on the other side there, doesn't mean to say they haven't had much rain. We haven't had any rain. I wouldn't be surprised if they've had pretty much the same as we've had, because there's always water running down on the other side as well. But too hazy to see Mossel Bay clearly and Donna Bay and whatever, but still stunning views. Basically back at the saddle. Whatever you win, whatever you lose, whatever you win. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to this side. There is of course a chill spot if one just feels like sitting there and looking down. I can't quite remember how steep it is there. Maybe some people are perfectly happy to come up to the saddle and sit and chill, yeah. So say goodbye to the very little part of the Swartberg. You can see there plus Outeniqua, Tierkop, Skurwekop equals interior equals other interior part. Beautiful. Now go to George side again. It's not to say George isn't pretty, it's just that one has to mention that you're not going to see this side from here on again. Can't believe I was up there. Hey! Up there. Yes. It's all about timing in terms of transport. I'm just going to walk my normal pace, average pace, and see what the time is when I get close to Witfontein. Here's our pole, there's our sign, there equals George Peak, here equals decline down. This piece of video doesn't do justice to the amount we've declined here already. Come down quite a lot. 2 o'clock now. One of the few uppies, of course, when we're doing the main down. I think there's about 3 episodes like this, if I remember correctly. And up comes George again. Go look for somebody else. A couple of these kind of rounds. Up and a down, 2 downs, 1 up, a big down, small up, etc. Progressing down. Progressing! Finally at a part where one can actually see a bit of distance between us and George Peak and the saddle. This little hill here still, and another 1 or 2. Little bit of incline here, and I think there was another 1 or 2. Of course, things look so much different when you're busy going in the opposite direction. Even if you've just walked on it 2, 3, 4 hours ago, for some other reason it just looks different. And you think, yeah, no, but that after that one, yeah, no, but looks a little bit different. I've noticed that we still, after all this decline, on about the height of the Outeniqua Pass, which is a bit surprising. Some lovely rocks here with a few flowers in between them. Who knows what all these flowers could look like in a month or 2. There's a very healthy fynbos coming up. All kinds of flowers amongst these rocks here. Purple, red, yellow, you name it. Remember this sign from earlier in the morning? If you have not reached this point by 2 o'clock, it is too late to continue. For your own safety, we urge you to turn back. Not only did we pass it in time, we went up to Cradock Peak, and it's now 40 minutes past 2. Call me a loser. If I was a little bit more speedy, not only did I then do the peak, but I'm back at this point by 2 then. 40 minutes isn't too bad. Now I agree with that, 2 o'clock. And you still want to maybe do George or Cradock, and you haven't made it there by 2. No way, Jose, you're not gonna. If you're 2 there and you still want to go up, you're not gonna make it. It's gonna be pitch dark, and you're leaving the rest of the people to find you. And finally, we're back down onto the railway line. Back on the railway line. What I'm going to do here before I go any further is to check my phone. Check the battery on my phone. And if it's not charged, or if it's lost, I've brought my power bank. And I know I've brought the cable. I know I brought the cable for the GoPro. I've got a cable for the GoPro to plug in. But I'm almost satisfied with what I've already achieved for the day on the GoPro. I'll have to check in my box, in my bag, if I brought the cable for the phone. Only reason I would like to charge it a bit is so that I can continue with Wikilog. See how many kilometers we've done by the end of the day. So anyway, I'll check if the cable for it is in there still, if it needs to be charged at all. But we're almost turning left here again. And bear in mind, I've got another not only do we do that there, from there another 6 kilometers, unless I get a lift with my sister. Now I'm in a catch-22 situation. We'll have to check the weather. It's now 3:30. She can pick me up at 5. The question is, where am I by about 5? And where am I at a certain point? It's I don't want to sit around too long in that area, and yet waiting for. And yet, if I don't sit around there and I go for Sampieshoogte, which is at least 6 kilometers further, then we've got a bit of extra exercise to go. Eventually we're back at the stream, and from here, over this beautiful stream, starts an incline. Listen to this water. Now starts a climb, which at some sections may not look very steep, and at other sections it definitely is steep. One way or the other, they all work on you if you've been walking and climbing and declining until, what's it now, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Until 4 o'clock you don't want to see any incline, you don't have any climb. But yeah, get to the top and then down to Sampieshoogte and back with it, I think. This is the part where one either turns left and does the whole Sampies, 6 kilometers about, or turn right and go down and back down to Witfontein again. I think my battery's flat anyway, and I've already said what I can say. So let's do Sampieshoogte. About another 6 kilometers, at least the incline up to the middle. The middle's the highest point, at least the incline, whichever way you start from, whichever side you start from, you don't really feel it much. And then finally home. Yeah, this is the sign. And this is where rocks slowly but steadily keep gathering up. Used to start with people clearing the road, not to harm too many vehicles or bicycles in particular, and so it just grew. People used to start thinking, certainly including me actually, that one should contribute every time. So I'm just taking my little rock here, putting it on top there. Also made my contribution. I love the humor in this. That happens to be the halfway mark too. Not only is it the highest point of this piece of road, it's about the halfway mark as well. So I should be at home at about 5:30, somewhere there. Like a chill spot there towards the left. So this is our last little stream between here and home. I think the next marker we can set ourselves is the bottom railway line. Finally, the bottom railway line. That piece of forest that leads from where I am basically to the top entrance exit of that main street. We've seen that before, so honestly I don't think I'm even going to record it. We all know what that should be like, what that's like by now. There's a fence here, and then right to the gate. Let me just pause this here. Carry on recording please now. Even though I'm a bit dizzy and I don't know if it was the medication I drank earlier or what it is. But hey, it was stunning up there on this very, very late afternoon's dizziness. Didn't come with the... It was only down at the bottom. So, if anybody who's watched this has enjoyed it, great. If not, I'll be looking back onto it again.